Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us on another episode of the Glowhood podcast. I'm your host, Danielle Mamet, and today's episode is going to cover changing what you cannot accept and accepting what you cannot change. So now, let's get into it. Now, with just 2 months left of 2020, there are a lot of things for us to analyze and to essentially just look back at this chaotic year. I know that a lot of people have been suffering due to the pandemic, whether they were personally affected by catching it, or if a family member was, or if their source of income was affected, or even their housing. There's been so much that's been going on this year, and it's been a year too of revealing things, technically the year of revelation. And there's a lot of things that I kind of just want to get into. So if you are able to change the things that you cannot accept, so that being if there's a situation that you find yourself in and you are not happy, this would be the time to be able to take that and to change the situation. So make sure that whatever you're doing it for yourself. If it makes you happy, so long as it's not hurting anyone or putting someone's life in danger or yourself in danger, then do you. Be happy, be healthy, and prosper, pretty much. Like, I feel like there's so many different things that a lot of people have been able to kind of tap into due to the quarantine and due to all of the chaotic nature of this year, that now that we are able to kind of focus in on our passions, focus in on things that make us fulfilled, now we can actually tap into why we're here on this planet. And for that, I am eternally grateful. I have a question for all of us. So how many of us have looked into how things in our lives have turned out and wish we could go back and change them? Now, this is to piggyback off of a previous episode that I did. But basically, if there's something that you feel like you can change, you have the power to change, do it. And I know it's easier said than done, but it is vital for you to be able to tap into your life source, your life energy, your full being, to be able to not only fulfill the things that you want to fulfill, but to also, while you're doing that, you're also inspiring other people. The beauty of having the right mindset is that we can and we will change how we look at things. There are so many things that we can change, but without the proper knowledge, without the proper mindset, we cannot do it. And it's incredibly important. If you have an example, for example, all of these celebrities, I'll take Beyonce, for example. Beyonce has the same 24 hours in a day that we do. Look at how much she's accomplishing versus, I'll say even versus myself. Like, clearly she has been able to tap in to make sure that she is using her time efficiently, producing superior quality work, and also still having time for herself and her family. That right there is goals. That is what I aspire to be able to do in my own life. I aspire to be able to take care of business, but also spend time with my family and also live out my dreams and live out a life that I feel like I deserve. I feel like that's the goal of a lot of people. There's only a few people who are able to achieve that. And in order to achieve that, it's through their mindset. Perspective is everything. Your mentality is everything. Being positive or negative or even being neutral is literally going to make or break your situation. So please always remember that you are in control of how you look at things. Changing your perspective on things is basically what's going to help you. Because if you have heard of the serenity prayer, it says, God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and wisdom to know the difference. So that essentially is basically telling you it's a perspective. If you have a certain outlook on life, and for example, there's one concept that I remember in psychology that has stuck with me till this day. But basically, there are certain things that if something keeps happening to a person or a group of people and their power is consistently taken away from them, then when an opportunity arises for them to be able to get out of that situation, they essentially don't take that opportunity because they don't see it as an opportunity. This is what we call learned helplessness. And it's not just for humans, it's literally throughout the entire animal kingdom. There's like a meme or even a picture where you'll see a horse that is literally tied to a plastic chair, and the horse is just staying there like, it can't go anywhere, but it's like the chair is not actually holding it, but the mental toll that it has taken on the horse for it to always be tied to something has now led it to believe that anytime it's tied to something, obviously it's not going to be able to move, so it just does not go anywhere. So it's important for us to always change our perspectives, to change our outlook on things. If you have a negative outlook, if you have a hopeless outlook, then please try and change that. Try and read some books, do some research. I mean, you're listening to this podcast, so you're already on the right track. And just try to find different avenues or different resources for you to be able to tap into your true and full potential. There is so much that we as people are meant to do besides the rat race that I keep on mentioning. Mind you, I have a job too. It's not like I'm doing this full time. I have a job. I went to school. I have played the game, but in doing that, there's other things that you can do as well. You can also do things that make you feel fulfilled. There are things that you can do to tap into yourself, your soul, because a lot of people may not realize that we are souls having a human experience, and that is entirely overlooked in our modern society, which it should not be, because the soul is the only thing that's gonna transcend after our bodies decide to expire. So I really want us to tap into what feeds your soul and not just what feeds your body, because at the end of the day, the soul is going to live out longer than your body. So try and take care of that more than you take care of, your physical. Obviously, you do need to take care of your physical because that is where your soul is being housed for the time being. But make sure that you also feed the soul itself. So changing things that you cannot accept. If there's something that is eating away at you, change the situation, change the environment, change the people you're around, change your surroundings, change your perspective. Make sure that you're able to really think about things thoroughly, logically, and think about, okay, if this situation is going on with these type of people and it keeps happening and I don't like it, I need to change it. So do that. There's an example that I will use. If you decide that you're tired of always being tired, you're tired of carrying around extra weight, extra unneeded weight, and you suddenly decide to make the decision that you're going to work out and eat right and essentially lose the weight, doing that is changing something that you cannot accept. You can no longer accept you being slightly or severely unhealthy due to excess weight. You are now taking charge and taking control of your situation, and you're making sure that you stick to it. You're making sure that you're able to succeed with that. That is an example of changing something that you can change. Now, an example of accepting something that you cannot change is, let's say you have an internal issue going on where you cannot lose the weight naturally. So in that case, you would have to accept that whatever is going on with your body is it's gonna happen. However, you can change your perspective on it. You can change your outlook on the situation, and you can make sure that you don't get depressed or discouraged from doing things that make you happy, whether it's because you do have the excess weight and you can't do anything about it. That's totally fine. But if it is something that you can change and you can work on, then I would highly suggest you do that. Another example is changing your environment. So for example, let's say you did lose the weight, and now that you are more healthy, you're either slimmer or you're fit or athletic, whatever the case is, now there are people around you who are telling you that they liked you better when you were bigger. That is a situation where now you need to change your environment. That's something you cannot accept. Whenever you're doing something for yourself, it doesn't matter the opinions of other people. So a recent example, I don't really know if you guys are familiar, but Jasmine Sullivan, who is an R&B singer, she recently lost quite a bit of weight, and so actually has Adele. Both of these singers have lost a significant amount of weight because when they first came onto the scene, they were a little bit heavier than they are now. A lot of the comments that they're getting and receiving are people saying that, oh, I like them better when they were bigger. Oh, why are they so skinny now? They're probably not gonna be able to sing the same, because there's this misconception that heavier women are able to sing better because of the pressure or the fat that is able to sit on their diaphragm and stuff. And I'm like, I don't know how true that is. I'm not a professional singer. I don't know how true that is, but most of the singers that I see are thin, so I don't really know if that's true or false. However, I will say that them taking their health into their own hands and actually doing what they feel is best for them is completely up to them. If they feel like they can lose the weight, then that's what they wanted to do. That's what they did. Our commentary on it's not needed. It should not be voiced out to them because you don't know why they had to even do that in the first place. There's a lot of people, again, recently Chadwick Boseman passed away, but before he passed away, he had lost a significant amount of weight. And for him, he was already fit. So when him losing weight actually he looked sickly. And it turns out that he was sick. He had cancer. And people were making fun of him all over the internet to the point where he had to actually go back and delete some of his pictures because people were negatively commenting on his stuff. And now we see that, yeah, he was sick. That's why he lost weight. So all of the people's opinions shouldn't have been added to that because now look, he's no longer with us. And here he is. He was suffering in silence while people were making fun of his appearance. So I want you guys to really take those few examples and just make sure that you apply them to your own life. Don't allow other people to dictate things in your life. Don't accept any negative commentary, any negative environments that you don't need to be in. If someone is negatively impacting your life, remove yourself from that situation if you have the power to do so. If it's on the internet, delete the apps that the people are commenting on. Even you could literally delete your accounts if you really wanted to. If it's something that is in your actual everyday life, like for example, if it's at your workplace, if you can, go see if you can change your department. Go see if you can talk to HR about the situation. Go and figure out a solution to that issue. If it's your home, in your home environment, and if it's like with roommates or even with a significant other or whatever the case is, see if you can change that environment. I know it may be a little bit difficult for people who are younger, who are not able to get up and move because they're literally underage, but you can try and do things that will help you escape that. Even mentally, you can journal. You can watch different programs that are inspiring. You can listen to podcasts like this. Like, you can do things for yourself that will make you feel better, and that will allow you to be able to really tap into your creative side, tap into your soul. Make sure that you're able to get all the things that you deserve. And I'm not saying get them like by being aggressive and snatching them away, but I mean doing the right things, making the right moves to be able to have whatever it is that you want. If you're a goal getter, go and get your goal. Achieve your goals, because I will be here rooting for you. Just know that. Even if we've never met before, just know that I will be proud of you, and I'm sure tons of other people will be too. The thing that we always have to remember is that Even if no one expresses it to you personally, to your face or through social media or if they don't ever connect to you and tell you that they're proud of you, there are always someone who is proud of you for being able to achieve your goal, proud of you that you were able to remove yourself from that situation, that negative, toxic situation. There's always someone out there for you who will be proud of you and proud of the good things that you're doing. So don't stop, don't give up. You can literally do this. You can do whatever whatever you tell your mind to do, your body will follow what your mind says. So you have to conquer your mind in order for your mind to then conquer your body. And not conquer in a negative way, obviously, but to be able to, your soul is going to speak to your mind and tell it, hey, this is what I want to do. I want to achieve this and this and this before this and this and this. Even if I don't achieve it within that time frame, I'm going to achieve it regardless. Boom. As soon as you do that, watch how quickly things change for you. Watch. I am not even exaggerating. There are so many things that can change in a blink of an eye if you just change your situation. Just do what you know you can do. Make sure that you can literally take advantage of your own self-motivation to be able to get one step further, to be able to get a few steps ahead of whatever it is that you're trying to achieve and trying to do. You know you got this. So continue to keep on being the light. Continue to overcome any adversity that you're going through, whether it's societal, whether it's personal, whether it's academic, whether it's through career, whatever the case is. Make sure that you are able to fully accept situations that you cannot change, but to definitely and most certainly change the ones that you can. You got this. So I just want to say thank you so much for listening to this episode of the Glowhood podcast. You can follow us on all of our social media pages, Glowhood Podcast. You can also go to www.glowhood.com to listen to all of these episodes. And for any updates, please follow us on our social media. Let me know if you like this content, if you want me to produce similar content, or if you want me to kind of change things around. Just let me know. Thank you so much for listening. I truly appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you and have a wonderful, blessed day. Bye.